And we're live. Hey, look at that. We're on time this time too. Look at that.
That's a first.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole thing for me to screw up. Well, welcome to the stream. We're going to give it a couple of minutes here just so that people can pile in and that sort of deal. Does it say that we are live? I'm checking with people. Are we live?
I got a live.
Yeah, you're live.
Live. All right, we got a live. Oh, we have viewers. We have a whole 5 of them. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Well,
but yeah,
only 5 viewers. I'll get that.
Oh my god! Now the 7. Look at that. Yeah, do his 15 seconds. He fell off. Hey, what up, fellow nerds? Yeah. So today's stream is going to be a little straightforward, more or less. Yeah, como se dice, gay. So. So we have a few subjects laid out today. More or less, we sort of have to cover it. We have to cover the Charlie Kirk thing for like 3 seconds. I'm not trying to capitalize off of that. It's more of people have asked me what my thought process is on the aftermath of that. I'm not going to sit here and do a clout goblin-y thing where we make this big, long talk about what's pretty obvious. The next one is a bit of a palate cleanser. It's how to spot a grift over a product, right? Because there's a lot of different stuff that is put out there for people to consume and buy, and a lot of it is ridiculously friggin' expensive for no reason. And some of it is just a straight up grift and how we see it and what actually gets us there. And then after that, we're talking about training regimens after that, right? We're going to start with the physical stuff because I believe that the gym component is actually really, really important to this, especially with like brain health and all of that. And then the gun stuff, like how are we tracking our progress? How are we getting better? And how do we know it? What's more, right? And the answer isn't always and or specifically go shoot competitions. So, there's a lot that we can get into in that regard. But the first thing that we can get into, mostly so that we can just kind of say that we covered it and move on from it. And by the way, super chats that come in, I will do my very best to address them as close to instantly as possible and throw out the whole highlighted comment and that sort of thing. And if you have questions throughout this whole deal, obviously, if it's a super chat, we're going to try and handle it first. Not to say that we're only exclusively going to handle questions through super chats, but obviously, if you throw a couple of bucks at us, I think it makes sense. We're going to prioritize it. So that said, Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm going to lead off with my opinion on this, and you guys can follow up. I've been saying for years right now that the left in and of itself, the air quotes left, or at least the radicalized types that will try and like cancel people over a smirk or whatever, right? Like that whole thought process, that whole status quo has been dying for quite some time, at least to my mind's eye, since like 2015, right? It just takes a while because it's been the status quo forever. And about every 30, 35 years or so, America goes through a culture change anyway. But when any status quo like that starts dying, it starts getting inevitably crazier. And unfortunately, this is usually the result of that. And when things get inevitably crazier, the normal people that are just kind of going with the flow status quo wise usually kind of look at that and be like, that's crazy. I'm not going to deal with that. And then you start getting public figures, right? Like I am, up to this point at least, not a Cincinnati Chiefs fan at all, but they're banning all the boy sex stuff from their stadium. And then Pat Mahomes is all, yeah, no, I'll throw my whole NFL career out if you think I'm going to support what happened to Charlie, right? So okay, right? But when stuff like that happens, you know that it's well and truly out the door. And then when it's no longer profitable, to do the lefty stuff, that's when it's extra out the door. So that's more or less my opinion on it, right? And unfortunately, people should not be getting sunsetted forever. But man really did found a turning point. That's my appraisal of the situation.
For sure. I come from a
Kansas City
mixed.
Chiefs. My bad, Zach. Jesus Christ, I am gym brained right now. I like my hands are vibrating. Sorry. This is what Zach Pavey caught me saying. I'm pretty sure I did say that.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, Kansas City. My bad. Jesus Christ.
I'm so not even a sports. It flew by me. I just now caught this.
Yeah, I didn't even.
But-
I was like, yeah, those guys, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
Just my whole thing is I come from a family of mixed politics. Just living in Central Texas, there's a lot of mixed politics. It's been kind of overwhelming the last 2 weeks because depending on which set of friends I'm hanging out with, they have vastly different opinions on the whole situation.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all I know is a dude got shot in front of his 2 daughters, man. It's the fact that there's people applauding that. I don't care what political side of the aisle you lay on. We can at least agree that that's pretty screwed up.
And you would think that is just a normal common sense take.
Right.
But then there's people that are trying to like double down on it because they live in their screens, right? That have never had a real problem in their lives. And they're trying to like double down on how that's cool. And okay, this is how you know that a particular side of this thought process is well and truly done, right?
Yeah. I know like John, I have a lot of mixed politics friends as well. And yeah, you can really spot the people that you're like, oh, you're that kind of person. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
And here's the thing,
I have
too.
said
People
it for a
go,
long time that the people are messing with something that they don't want to fucking mess with, man. Like it's not a route that we want to go down. Nobody wants to go down that route. It's not the best outcome, and only one side's going to win. And I know the one I'd bet on, but
at the same time,
I don't know. I'm also not surprised, like based on all the other times that people were nuts about certain things, but certain people.
Well, and here's the other deal, right? Like, all the wars, all the conflicts that we have been in, all the bloody scraps we've been in and whatnot, there was a point where the entire planet got into it twice, right? Like a dude got assassinated and all of Europe burned down for a bit. And we got involved in that first one. And then World War II happens and we got involved in that one. All of the stuff we've been in. The American Civil War was still the most costly war in our history. And you really need to think about that sort of stuff, right? Some people that will in the same breath say that they're reasonable human beings are actually calling for like Civil War stuff. And that is retarded, right?
Not a good thing.
It's not good.
And it's
None
not
of
what you
this
think
stuff
it's
is
going to
good.
be. It's not what you think it's going to be. It's not going to be fucking blue
No.
coats and gray coats lining up. It's
No.
going to be IEDs. It's going to be just it's going to be basically you're going to live in Iraq.
It's going to be gross.
It's basically what it's going to be.
It's going to be gross because
It'll only be in the cities. That's the craziest part. It'll only be in the main metropolitan areas. Some stuff might bleed over, here and there, but it'll mostly. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
A lot of it is.
I think from either side of the house, this is posturing or chest puffing.
Oh, whether
it's an ignorance or what, it's a lot of that.
and it is a great number of people that have never seen real violence before that
Yes.
are cool with it, right?
Yes.
'Cause you won't be the soldiers in Iraq. You'll be everybody else who still's got to go to work and
No,
like have
because
a job. And
yeah.
like you got a dodge an IED blast that just went off or whatever. Like you do not want that.
Yeah, and whether or not like some foreign entity or whatever would want to push this, right? Because the British wanted to like push at our last civil war as a for instance, right? Because they weren't the biggest fans of us back then.
Yeah.
Point
Still aren't.
it's completely irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant because
Well, there's
realistically,
a lot of that too.
well, but what I'm saying, and the reason why I say it's completely irrelevant is the vast majority of the people that are actually pushing toward this sort of stuff would never be actually involved in the first place. The closest thing that they would ever be involved in is snitches, right? That's it. These are people that have never been in a fist fight, never mind anything else. And so the even like right side, air quotes, people that are pushing toward this kind of stuff, it's like, okay, so you have never so much as had a rock thrown at you before, right?
Mhm.
Because actual violence is gross. And for that to happen in more or less your backyard, that's dumb. That's super dumb. We
Yeah.
live in an era where even poor motherfuckers are fat. Why would you try to ruin that?
Right.
Right. So no, what this turns into and what this will turn into, at least in my mind's eye, is every reasonable person ever will just sort of look at this and be like, I'm just not down with that anymore. And that's it. Right. The whole everyone's mental health, and maybe this is a hot take. I believe that this begins more or less when like me and Evan were kids, or me, Evan, and John were kids, in that, you know, your mental health really should be your responsibility. It shouldn't be everyone else's. This whole concept of people being okay with being a burden to everyone else, I think, is being looked at this present time as probably not the way to go. And that's going to fix a lot of problems all by itself. Because realistically speaking, it's like, no, when these people figure out one way or another, nobody actually cares, right? Pay your bills or you're getting evicted anyway, right? Or the bank is going to seize the house.
Yeah.
Or
Bank's still gonna be there, bro.
or repo man is going to find your car broad daylight in a Walmart parking lot.
He's
'cause
got to
they
work
time to
too.
steal it.
It's just gonna be work with checkpoints. It's really what it's gonna be. It's
That's all it is,
work
man.
with checkpoints and random violence.
You know, and all we do is figure that out, but with a million extra steps and overusing terms like gaslighting, right? So switching from that to what we all knew in the first place, and that is, yeah, world is kind of rough. If you don't want dictatorships, you need to learn how to function in a meritocracy. That's just how it's going to have to be, and I think that's the direction that we're going.
Well, it's a lot rougher too. In the first 18 years of your life, you don't have to really face any adversity, and then
Perfect.
you know you get out of your 4, 5, 6 years of college or whatever.
Yep.
And,
Yeah, man.
and then you don't get to ease into it anymore. Now it's just a hard stop. Here's the real world. It sucks out here.
Yep.
Like,
And
then,
because
and then people wonder why people fucking break down and snap. Like,
well, and then
amazing.
this comment is great, right? You know, you get recognition and praise for your bravery of dumping your problems on everybody else. But then you still figure out at the end of the day, you know, you still actually do have to pay your own bills too. Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and then that's when people figure out it. This whole work with checkpoints thing is actually a great way to sum it up, because it's you end up there anyway. So why are we crying? Why are we doing all the crying?
Guarantee you won't care which fucking flag that checkpoint's waving when you gotta fucking go through it every day and they're asking for your papers.
Yeah, like, dog, I just need to open my shoe store. Like,
yeah, open the trunk. Open the trunk, bitch. I got a mirror. Go open the trunk. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, and
Have
the
a
whole,
bomb in there. Open the trunk.
and the whole
pocket.
and adding on to this, the whole communist sympathizing thing, right? At the same time, on top of this, is the whole lean toward that entire thought process is just the last step that someone logically takes to avoiding as much personal responsibility as possible before they have to anyway.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah. It is what it is, right? And until the natural struggles that come for you anyway, like, hey, the lights do got to stay on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because everybody's going to figure out at one point or another, you know, you're just a big, dumb, educated idiot that can't pay their bills. At a certain point, you hit that, and then it's like, wow, the valuation I've had of myself has been insane up to this point, and then they have to figure it out. So, and then they lose their minds, and then we have a Charlie Kirk incident. So,
One of the other various incidents.
yeah, or
Yeah.
the Democrats that voted for some right-leaning legislation, and they got too, right? People forget about that incident, right? And someone pointed that out to me. I looked it up, and that's exactly what happened, right?
Mhm.
It's like, wow, this wasn't the he wasn't left-wing point that you thought it was it?
Right.
You know,
Turns out no matter who you vote for, you get John McCain. So it's just kind of.
I've been saying it for years. They all suck. They all fucking suck, dude.
and like most John McCain
Anyways.
things, eventually get blasted in the face by birdshot. You know,
Oof.
you know,
That's a
and
real dick. It's a real
and it-
dick comment you made. Just
and if you continue down this, you know, everyone is a big special snowflake type thing, you end up apologizing for being blasted in the face.
Classic boomer behavior.
You know,
I do think that is a double-edged sword nowadays with social media too. Like it's fun for stuff like this, but it's also for some people it's just a platform that people bitch about their life. Like
you know, and that would be perfectly okay if we didn't try to censor uncomfortable stuff, right? Because look, talk about whatever you want. I should also be able to ridicule you out the door, right?
yeah.
And if you can't handle the banter, peace.
And that was another big part of this Kirk thing is, you know, people were like, oh, he deserved it because he said controversial things. When I was growing up, you wanted the controversial people to say controversial shit. Because if you disagreed with it, you could go, oh, I don't need to talk to that guy. Like, and that was the end of it. You actually wanted the people to say crazy shit. That's how you sorted out who your friends were. Like, and now nobody wants to hear anything that I don't know. Like I said, I've been listening to family dinners and friends and chat rooms about this for 2 weeks, and it's just frustrating.
I think the solution
you used to be able to disagree with someone.
I think the solution to this, no joke. I think that, and I think this will honestly happen too, because eventually this lefty nonsense and the woke nonsense is no longer profitable for anyone, not just certain folks or certain institutions. You just bring back the old internet. This solves itself.
You to take the gloves off.
You bring back like the era of E-bombs world and all of that, right? And this just solves itself. Where, you know, you could put out this heartfelt, thoroughly crafted video where you're like, look at all of this, and there's so much struggle, and they rose to the top, and the first comment is gay. You know. Just harden up a bit.
The more you argue about how that guy ain't shit, the happier that dude gets.
Just 2012 Call of Duty lobbies.
Yeah, that shit was wild. Or 2010.
You know, yeah.
Or Battlefield 4, pick your poison.
Will Phelps, yeah, only with electric fences and lava furniture, like actual lava.
But then it would just come.
Yeah, man, like just good old fashioned internet bullying. It needs to come back, I think. It hardens you up really fast. I spend hours and hours and hours and hours working on a video, and 2 seconds after a post, it's like, yeah, good job, good job, good job. You're gay. Okay, fine.
You're gay. You
So-
got me.
Also, I think all of us
Got
as a
me.
kid had a point.
oh.
All of us at some point realized, like, oh yeah, I can just put this down. Like, I don't
Yeah.
have to look at this shit all day.
And honestly, I think it's really funny. Like the most violent opinions I've heard on this entire subject come from like really bored suburban white chicks, right?
Oh, yeah.
With the haircut you're thinking about, with exactly the haircut that you're thinking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And you know what? It's like it's really easy to be, like a boss bitch until you take 556 in the tits from somebody else. So, okay. So the manliest sounding chicks I've ever heard, the second they got for real hurt at pick the thing, right? Because you deal with it. They start sounding really girly when they get like hurt, like injured or whatever, right? So I mean, just
or whatever is wild.
Or whatever, yeah. I believe they call that minimizing.
Oh, by the way, chat, the last few streams that I had, I came in like fucking loud, right? If I am still super loud, I can adjust a slider on this. Please bitch at me in the chat if that is the case. Thank you very much. But I think that's actually a good segue, palate cleanser and that sort of stuff. Because again, I'm not trying to sit here and profit off a Charlie Kirk thing. It's enough people have asked me for comment, and now you have your comment. Instead of a dedicated video on it, I wasn't going to throw ads up on that sort of thing. That's dumb. It's very like clout goblin-y, right? And I figure that we can hippity hop off of that. But we can get on to something palate cleansy and kind of fun. So products that are really grifts. Each one of us has at least one example in our head.
I would like to point out that my list of topics, it says scams. I figure that one is a much better
Scams.
scams.
Perfect. So yeah, scams. That's a really good way to put it. I will go last because I've led this conversation in its entirety so far. Either one of you can pick your scam that is disguising itself as a product. But
you got one, John? Do you got one?
Yeah, I got. Honestly, let me go first is a bold move considering you already stole mine. But that's fine.
It's the least I could do.
Yeah, we had a fun week this last week. We'll get to it. No, the second you brought this topic up, my head immediately went to literally anything Fab Defense ever made. Literally anything Fab Defense ever made.
I don't know, man. The Makarov grips with the weird magazine release are.
I didn't know they made Makarov grips.
Yeah, it puts the mag release like a lever, where there's a whole contraption that goes down and actuates the heel mag release.
Okay, almost everything.
Oh, it's not great. It's a great idea. It's very Caltech. It's wonderful in theory, and then you use it, and you're like,
you sweet summer child. You don't know?
You don't know? This is actually one of my followers, and I thought we were the same age, but you are better off for not knowing. But let me educate you, my boy.
People used to be in gun magazines.
So
you know the meme with this guy? Anytime you saw a guy with Fab Defense shit, that was the original response. You just
you're 34, my guy. No, they're not new. I'm
it's like GWAT era shit.
Yeah, I'm so amazed that you don't know who Fab Defense is. Dude, open a separate tab and just start looking through their stuff.
And just buckle up.
Yeah, just buckle up put on the 4-point harness.
I got my suspender sling.
Oh yeah, yeah. There
Yeah.
you go.
Oh my goodness.
That's not the one I was thinking of, but yeah, that was a good one.
So
Oh,
John,
actually,
okay, it's not a product, it's a whole freaking company. Why? Why? Maybe they're just trying hard and they're just misled. Why is it more a grift than it is an actual product? You
so I'll
enlighten
give a
us.
specific. So the specific fuck words are hard today. Specific product I was thinking of. Do you remember like it was the kickstand thing they made? It was
Oh my god!
it
Did they
wrapped
make the
around
grip
your
pod?
magwell on an AR,
Oh yeah.
and then yeah, it was basically a grip pod but for your magwell.
Bro,
And
every guy, every pogue in Iraq had that fucking shit. They had that or the grip pod, and it was never for actually using. It was for the chow hall. Because you gotta set that shit. Yeah, you put that shit muscle down on the fucking grip pod under your
Yep.
chair.
Yeah, because it was listen, because you everyone's got a magazine in the whatever, right? And you got to carry the guns around and you got to set them on the floor, right? Or it's like this in between your legs, and the second you shift, you have whatever like slinking into your legs. And there was a portion of me for a little bit, because I'm a young guy at this point now, where I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And it turned into not cool the first time that I seen someone try that with a 249 of all things. Like a
oh god,
like a grip pod. And I guess he was having a rough day or whatever, like everybody does, where you like half throw your rifle onto the friggin' concrete, and it just snapped it in half. It just did that to the legs, you know. But one of the big things that I was loading up before we started doing this was, okay, it's a grift because it doesn't actually solve any problems, and it actually introduces quite a few. So please enlighten us on the problems that it could cause.
so
Pick a number of things, even.
the first thing it didn't actually solve anything. It leaned really hard into the whole like don't put your magazine on the ground, it'll cause stoppages, blah blah blah. It's total bullshit. So now you have two flimsy ass plastic legs that kick down and basically act. It's basically the exact same as putting your magazine on the ground shooting from.
Because it would
So,
end
so
up
first
on
of
the
all,
ground.
it didn't solve a damn thing. I forget how much they cost, but it was a lot. And now you have a wider rifle with spring-loaded tabs that will just deploy when they want to and catch all over shit. And
Well,
then they were notorious for one side or the other just snapping off whenever. So now you have,
Well,
I don't know.
and for a little bit of context, right? In like the early 2000s, when I first like legit started looking at these, I remember this. It's coded into my brain forever. A grip pod back then was like $180.
Yeah, there was that too.
It was $180. Uh-huh. When
I'm also on their fucking website right now.
Wait, are they still around? They still have
Yeah.
a functioning website?
Yeah, they do.
Oh fuck.
Bro, this fucking grip pod with the built-in flashlight mount.
Oh shit, they've upgraded.
That is a memory.
hold on. Let me get to this now.
What's the price point on that bad boy?
Oh, let's see. Click. Let's see. What are you at?
Fab Defense,
Oh,
expect more.
They don't even have the MSRP on here.
Oh
On their
no.
website.
Oh, of course they don't.
You got to custom order it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking, they're one at a time in fucking Fab Defense.
Jesus.
They're
Okay.
printing one out.
Okay, so check this out. You guys tell me if this is sharing on the thing, right? Hold on. I gotta put it up here on the screen. Here we go.
Yeah, it's like a mini mag light. No, I don't see anything.
Do you see it now?
Got nothing.
Oh, hang on. Let me add it to the kajigger. Do you see it now?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Look at that.
There
Here we
this
go.
stock?
We're living in the future.
What is that stock? Why do I have a giant spring in my stock?
As peak.
Oh, I forgot about that thing.
Look at that thing, man.
Yeah. And here's your little mouse light on a carbine conversion kit for your handgun.
Hell, oh yeah. That was another thing.
I would really love to know what that is.
Ooh, a folding pistol grip. Listen,
I'm surprised.
Wait, click that.
There's a lot of things I like in a pistol grip, but folding isn't necessarily one of those things.
I need a product description. Hold on.
Oh my god, dude. Those rotating ones. I have seen those rotating grips on so many.
Oh, I forgot about the Skull Magwell grips.
Hell
yeah, brother.
Bro, imagine you use your shit in a self-defense scenario and they pull your fucking clown ass AR with this whole shit on the front. Like a Chinesium AR and you're in the jury.
Oh, God. I remember seeing lots of these too. And the first question I had is, how is that better than just Magwell grip in the gun? If you're even going to do that.
It's not, but I knew a lot of
I never once grabbed a Magwell, needed a finger groove reference.
Is this keychain here for charms and whatnot? Is that legitimately what it's for?
I think it's a lanyard loop.
For what?
I'm getting one of those for little Pugly and putting charms on it.
Version for left-handed shooters.
Yeah,
what?
One's left-handed, one's right-handed.
What?
But for what?
It's for a Makarov for a PM.
Hold up.
Old Mac.
I
only learned about it because of fucking Tarkov.
Let's try.
I'm actually concerned about how much you know about this already, Evan.
Well, let's try to keep our composure.
I definitely looked at this before.
Well, let's try to keep our composure and read the product advantages, right? Replaces the original grip with an improved ergonomic design. Incorporates a unique built-in thumb-operated magazine release mechanism. Enables faster and more efficient magazine change. Extended beaver tail design for optimal slide bite protection. Built-in safety cord attachment ring. User installed, no gunsmith required. Available in black, olive drab, green. Okay, whatever. Right. What does this? This is for a Makarov.
Right.
Oh.
So it's for a Makarov PM. So the idea is that it replaces the fucking heel. I'm pointing at it. Nobody can see where I'm pointing at. But it replaces the heel magazine release. So you push forward on that little thumb piece up top, and it releases the mag.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So it's a little lever in there that just pushes it back and forth.
Just change the friggin' mag. Okay.
I'm looking to see if they still make that kickstand I was talking about.
Those 1911 grips? Oh my. Oh my God. Look at that.
Geez.
Look at that thing.
Look at that.
There's a list of product advantages for this.
Look at that.
No, there's not.
Yeah,
no, there's
21-year-old Catholic.
The first bullet point says
no. Let's take guesses. It's gonna be ergonomic in there somewhere.
Okay, so it's there's 5 different grips available. Okay.
Oh shit.
There's 4 different colors to choose from. So selection is 2 of the 6 advantages.
Okay.
Replaceable grip mask for quick customization. Okay, so it's 3 now. There's no need for a gunsmith. Thank God. I was getting ready to call my guy in his basement for this so that he could crisscross applesauce gunsmith this gun. Durable and lightweight fiberglass reinforced polymer construction. Available in black, olive drab, green. Okay, so this is the perfect example of a grift. What problem did this solve? What did I need this for?
For putting a goddamn skull helmet on the front of your AR and going straight to jail when you use it.
Yeah, because they have to know that we mean business when because They don't know that we mean business
those-
when they're being presently shot.
Look at those
Right?
1911 grips. Look at those.
Yeah, you got me eyeing those too.
All
What's
right,
going on here?
let me look at these.
It's got a built-in magwell. It looks like.
Is that a
Yeah.
magwell in the grip?
Magwell funnel for rapid magazine change. Replace the
Yes.
original grip. No modification needed for quick and easy installation. No
Bro.
gunsmith required. Textured surface for improved grip, gun control,
Bro.
durable, and lightweight, bright, reinforced polymer construction.
23-year-old Evan would have loved this. 23-year-old me would have been like, run me too.
Yeah, the part of you.
What
the
colors
part of
do they
you-
come in?
Yeah, the part of you that
Just
has
black?
no idea how to grip a pistol. And by the way, this texture is probably worse than the grips you took off of your Nike.
Oh yeah. And
Well,
you
at
already
least it
know
didn't
what
have a
colors they
Punisher
come in.
troll on it.
You already know what colors they come in. They come in D colors. It's going to be black, green, tan.
No, right here it's just black. Unfortunately, just
There
black.
are
Oh.
I do not see any availability for extra colors.
There's a black dot
Well,
up there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and of course-
disappointing.
And of course it's held
I'm out.
together with friggin' screws on the back end. of it.
Screws never fail.
Everything great is held together by screws, just so you guys know.
Metal
They are
and plastic
undefeated.
screws. Yeah.
Oh God. This is the kind of thing that's only great for some foreign Euro trash that has never actually had to use guns before, and they figured that a folding grip is a good idea.
Well, and like one guy in like the Israeli IDF bought one, and like they're like, "Oh, it's used by IDF," and you're like, "Yeah."
Ah, jeez.
Sorta.
Oh yeah, perfect. Look at that. I do foreign mill sales of folding grips are requested.
Of course,
I'm
they
still
are.
confused by the AR folding pistol grip. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is
They are.
right. Yeah,
I
there's a
think
dual pick rail attachment for grip pod and dual flashlights. So I've actually met people that would attach a laser and a light on each side of the gun, right? And they would use these from Fab Defense to offset like their laser, right? So that the light, you see, would be on the handguard, and then the laser, you see, would be underneath on the and extended on the right side, like extended away from the light. And I've seen this more than one time where there would be a pressure switch for both device on either side of the gun for redundancy, you see.
Mm.
Yeah. So, I mean, and of course,
Mm.
perfect.
bro. First off, Dick Cheney's heart is the best. Because we know he doesn't have one. He's got a machine. He's fucking got a constant machine, dude. That is
That's
both-
great.
That was really good.
Yeah, and of course, this happens on a regular basis. Also, hey Zach,
according to Reddit, these products are great.
yeah. So, but that's the idea, right? It's like no one who has any sort of shooting experience at all, and we don't even got to talk about the guys that are running tons of bullets a month or going to a million competitions, or the guy that's on that journey of trying to climb the ladder and do his thing and be fit at the same time, like Firearms and Fitness over here in our chat. This is like anybody that actually shoots even just a little bit. Like you look at these products and it's like, okay, what problem did a folding grip solve on my rifle there? What problem did a spring-loaded friggin' stock actually solve?
Well, you see, the CEO of Fab Defense made some money.
Right.
He's like, shut up.
Yeah. So
and he went to AutoCAD and fixed it.
so that was a good place to start. I thought that was a great place to start. Evan, do you have your example of
yes, there's so many, but the first one that came to mind. So we all know about revolver speed loaders. You got your few things. You got the turn knob, you got the Safari Land that snap in, and a few other ones. But there is one that looks like a bicycle chain. and you put the rounds in it, and it lays flat like a speed strip. But you put the rounds in all the way around the cylinder, and then rip it off. It's called the rip cord, and you pull it off, and it is terrible.
What?
Terrible. There's
Li-
so
li-
many bad speed loaders, and that is one of the worst.
Listen, I said Cincinnati 2 seconds ago. I need you to explain that to me. I could not put any of that together.
I can't put a firearm in front of me. But like on a normal speed loader, right? Like
Okay.
this is a Safari Land. This is the Comp 1, right? When you pop this bad boy in, there's a little star in here that depresses, and you hear that click, and they come loose.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm following so far.
So this doodad is like a bicycle chain, and you put the rounds in like one after the other, like this. And in the heat of a gunfight, you're supposed to tilt your gun down and line these things up one at a time in the deal like a slinky, then press them in. And then you grab hold of a pull ring and you pull it, and the cylinder spins, which you're already, if you're reloading a revolver, probably holding it so the cylinder can't move, or you can manipulate it with your thumb. But now you're going to pull on it, and it pulls out like a, what is that, a Beyblade? What was that thing when we were kids? Like you were, like,
What is this?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull one here. Google it. It's called like the rip cord, or fucking, I don't know how to put it on the stream. You're running it. It comes.
Rip it like a Beyblade, or you're a girl on a Saturday night. What? Rip it like a Beyblade, or on your girl on a Saturday night. Jesus Christ. I'm having a really hard time.
Here, I'm
trying to put,
and I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture it.
No. Like I got what you're saying, right? It's bike chain, but bullets.
Right.
I'm having a hard time visualizing like a grip pod. I could more or less understand, right? Like, okay, concept, why someone thought this was a good idea. It's a horrendous idea, but I can get there. Like, I can arrive at why someone thought this was a great idea.
Oh, it's called, hold on.
Of
course they ask for cookies. It's called the. I'm just gonna send it to you.
Okay, I'm so confused.
Well, hold tight. We're about to be angry too.
And I will pop it up on YouTube and send you that.
Oh God, I swear to God, if my feed starts
Bro,
getting.
I learned about this through like an Instagram ad or some shit, and I was like, no. And then I looked it up on YouTube, and people were recommending it.
Hold on, I gotta pull this up on the thing. Okay, it's CK Tactical, CKT.
Yeah, ripcord speed loader.
Hold on, ripcord. Let me look this up.
I'm just sending you their website video.
Oh, this is even better. There's a video.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, hang on. That's very loud. It's very loud.
The missile does not.
Yeah, right? Okay, hang on. Let me. Okay, so that everyone can share this nonsense with us.
Spread the pain around.
They're cheaper than I thought they'd be, but I don't.
Okay,
it's like more than $5. Too much.
They're supposed to lay flat in your pocket was like the selling point. But what are you supposed to roll it back up like this?
Okay, hang on. I got it. This is it. This is it right here.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna make this chill the fuck out for 2 seconds because I don't think we need. Well, hold on. I'll turn it up just a little bit so we can hear the thunderous bass from this guy. Hold on, just eep. My hands are not working very good. I got out the gym before we started this.
Using the patent-pending ripcord speed loader.
It's
This
patent
is a
pending.
5-shot variant that is being
Keep
by
it,
Smith
man.
& Wesson 642. The bullets easily insert into each clip. It features a reliable locking mechanism. This is the most minimal speed loader on the market and is perfect for concealed carry. Most importantly, it is fast.
Is
You
it?
insert the speed loader, pull the tab, and you have a loaded weapon.
How many times do you think it took him to do it?
I don't think I much like making my cylinder spin for no reason. Also, how is that better than just put the thing in and then
Yeah.
twist?
Yeah, while you have this pulled up, you should just look up a fucking Fairyland Comp 1 J-frame, and it just snaps in, and you're done, and the speed loader falls away, and you're like, all right.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I've seen that review.
Oh,
he's not
really?
wrong. Yeah.
I couldn't figure out how we got there.
Yeah. Oh, it's junk. And then I personally
That is a very thin plastic too.
Yeah, I've
That is a
personally
very
had
thin
the
plastic.
Speed Bees speed loader because 7-shot 357s are hard to get anything other than a turn knob or the Speed Bees.
Well,
The
could
Speed
you?
Bees are
No,
too
go ahead.
expensive. They're too expensive for what they are, and they will just fall. The rounds just fall out in your pocket if you're
Well,
like
could
carrying them.
you could you imagine, Evan, carrying this on like a random Tuesday in August in Florida,
Yeah,
and
then
how
trying to
fast that would just come apart?
yeah, and all those rounds are gonna be just fucking yeah. And he
Uh,
just rips it away, and like your grip is so fucked up at this point.
yeah.
Like,
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, what problem did that friggin' solve? Just put.
yeah, there you go. AKs and PBRs. He's right. The Speed Bees are awful. They're the worst speed loaders.
Yeah.
HKS is better, and they've been around a million years, and they cost like fucking nothing, $20.
Also, my dude, we'll get there. We'll get there. Believe me, because that one's mine. Yeah, I don't understand how you could even arrive at this is better than a speed loader.
No. Listen, old timers been shooting dudes with revolvers for way longer than they have semi-autos, and none of them use any fucking. I guarantee if you grab one of those old gunfighters back in the day, they would be like, I'll just reload 2 at a time off my belt. It'd be better than that fucking thing. Like that contraption.
Well, you see, the diameter of the bullets is 20 thou tighter with that in your pocket, so it's better for concealed carry.
I disagree, because not even boomers would be like, yeah, this is great. No, they would bring up the fine motor skill nonsense argument.
Yeah.
Any
other decent speed loader, you just have to line up 2 holes, and that'll usually line up your other holes, press it in, turn it, it falls away, and you close it, and you're done.
Well, like even with lefties, man, because like I shoot lefty revolver pretty okay, and you just throw your gun hand thumb over to that side. You push on it, and now I have my other hand here. Just we're set,
exactly.
right? Like you got 2 holes to line up, like you said, because that usually makes
you can run thumb forward and then thumb through, and then just have full control of the deal while you do your thing. Yeah, it's and then one-handed reloads. Imagine trying to use that thing for a one-handed reload.
It's not happening.
Oh, God.
It's not happening.
Yeah,
like trying to rip that. No way. Like there had to be a testing phase for this, right? Or maybe I'm just giving it way too much credit. By the way,
the testing phase was probably like they put it in a vest pocket of like their fishing vest, and like,
or like dude was just like, oh, I'll be damned, and that was it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna charge $20 for this, or whatever.
Handed it to an old guy with a J-frame, and he was like, all right, and then they were like, sold, market it, that's it, send it out.
Bill from down the street loves it. Like,
yeah. So segueing that into the next one because we got a whole $20 super chat over it. Yeah, swiveling stocks or rotating stocks. So, yeah, there isn't just one, there's several on the market, and these guys all swear to God that this is like the most revolutionary thing that anyone has ever seen. And for those that don't know what that is, the impression you have in your head is exactly what it actually is that imagine being attached to your rifle, right? And then the stock moves because we have to get around corners, you see, missing the whole point that when you rotate the gun, the barrel didn't go anywhere
at all.
Yes, it is. It's a real thing.
Oh yeah. I was featured on the story last week. Just go ahead and look up battle brace.
Yeah. Firearms and fitness. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea why it would not be simpler to just take your gun with a normal stock on it, and then if I have to pivot with it, just do that. Because actually getting around corners and stuff is based off of your hips and your torso, not your stock, right? Because that's the exposure part. And these guys never put this together, that this is the exposure part. That's your hips and junk, not the fact that the friggin' gun swivels. And of course, like there's always like the turbo tactical promotion videos and that sort of stuff for it. And as of late, this type of human being that produces this nonsense, it communicates almost exclusively in emojis, which, by the way, full-grown adult males that communicate in multiple emojis at once is probably the first and finest way to say that there's a friggin' chair facing your bed. No. Like, it's... What did that call? And of course, they're not cheap. They're like $400 friggin' dollars. You guys can check out Battle Brace and laugh at it right now, because that's the most modern iteration of this nonsense, right? And really quick here, interrupting myself. Probably a little bit after the Army figures out that they want them. I'm not the hugest fan of it, but that's better than what they have now. I don't know. It essentially is the answer to your question, and nobody else really does either. But that.
Aren't you glad you're not an armor anymore, or a small arms repair guy anymore?
Having it as a secondary MOS is the most hidden thing. I'm just pushing it all the way over there. I don't want anything. I'm just nope. 12 Bravo all day long. No, absolutely not. I don't know anything about this.
I can't imagine doing a sensitive items fucking inventory with all that extra shit on those fucking rifles.
Dude. God, absolutely not. And firearms and fitness, absolutely not. They absolutely do not shoot. Like, you go find these people in the first recoil impulse that you can see off of their rifle that you can also locate in their friggin' shoelaces. Of course they don't shoot, dude. Like, these people have no concept of actually constructing a pocket on your shoulder, because most people just think that shit exists, and it's not something that you have to manipulate your body for. It's all stuff that right? I guess we have to ask the question where it's like, have these guys fired a gun before? I'm assuming yes, but also, if you told me no, I wouldn't be the first person to be like, I wouldn't be the first person to not believe you, right?
Didn't some company make like a semi-auto bullpup shotgun that had a stock that just spun all the way around, looked like a fish? I can't remember the name of that thing, but someone's already tried this before, and it did not work well. No one liked it then. Why would they like it now?
Neither can anyone else who shot ever, dude. Like, I don't know, dude. But yeah,
that thing, the high standard.
Oh, yeah.
The high standard.
Yeah, the high standard HS-10. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't remember this one, and I'm glad I did it.
Hold on. Let me see if I can locate this nonsense.
It looks like a fish. It looks like some sort of tuna fish.
Yeah, because we can laugh at it together if that's the case. I only have one screen. I probably should have two. It's a high standard HS-10.
Yeah. Connor, I can't imagine. I can't imagine the shit you see.
Oh, of course, Military Arms Channel did this.
Oh,
Oh God. Okay. Well, that's too loud too. Hang on 1 second. So let me share that screen real fast too, because yeah, and of course, and he's probably talking about how this is the greatest thing ever too.
No, he says it's a piece of shit. I've watched
Oh,
it. It's
that's
the only gun stuff I watch with my wife, and so like I'll watch it, whatever.
what stupid things.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is this?
Why don't I want to watch him shoot a gelatin Tyrannosaurus head with a 4-bore rifle? Why wouldn't I want to watch that?
What is this? Oh my goodness. This looks like something that would be poorly rendered in the original Turok or something.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is ridiculous.
The recoil impulse on the thing is awful.
Even his face. Look at his face. His face is like somebody actually sent me this and was like, "Yeah, put it into production."
Shoot this, you fucking idiot.
I'll pay you $1,000 to make yourself look like a moron on video.
It's an old gun. It's from like the
God.
80s. He's not really reviewing it. He just shoots a bunch of fucking food and cans on it.
Well, just the face of why am I doing this
Mm-hmm.
is so great.
He's got like every safari rifle you can think of. He's got a fucking 2-bore blunderbuss. He's got all sorts of crazy shit. He's got a 950 JDJ, that fucking crazy.
Hold on, let me add this so that everyone else can see this nonsense. Okay, so
that thing.
Oh, this is a different one. That's a different one.
I remember this one too, though.
Yeah, this is a different thing.
That is ridiculous, though. What?
Yeah, that's a Mossberg conversion. That's a different one.
Like if
that's the 10B, not the other. Yeah, because the other's a semi-auto. That looks awful though.
Dude, this face though
that looks
great. This face. What the hell is in my hands?
Oh yeah, Scott's got a punt gun too. Yeah, he does.
Oh goodness gracious, what is this? Hold on, point me at what it is.
Okay. It's the one Brandon's got in that video.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was doing the scrolly thing. My bad. So, what the hell is this?
Oh.
What?
Oh.
It's semi-automatic.
The more I see, the worse this is.
And then the sock. Don't forget he'll might spin the sock. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Ew.
Even his face is like, yeah, he's just talking about how it's not good.
No, it's a piece of shit. It's just fucking
Holy
ridiculous.
Crap. Okay.
It was the 80s when they were like, let's just make stuff.
Is this accurate?
I mean,
right here, this guy?
That looks like the.
Oh, it looks like it's turning. Oh yeah, it's turning.
Yeah. That's the one. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah. What? What is that over the top of it, dude?
To be fair, there's a lot of white
Flashlight?
powder going around in the 80s.
Yeah, they were doing wild shit in the 80s.
This is the only that's the only way that you could actually just like justify this is a drug problem, right? Like,
hey, recoil impulse is not a problem if your whole body's numb.
Bro, and then what is it, the Spaz 12 that has that arm hook?
Oh, the hook or whatever?
He's got a fucking arm hook on the stock. Yeah, let's just make stuff. They're still doing blow down in
make
Florida.
stuff.
yeah, I mean, that's a good joke, but it's not really a joke, dude. Like, if you know what would be cool actually made its way outside of the meeting room, and no one else had any extra thoughts and just put a thing into production. That's essentially what that is, right? But oh my goodness, that's wild to me. Okay, so let me see if I can look up Battle Brace. I don't think that you can. I think this is one of those things that exclusively inhabits like Instagram only.
I know at the very least you can't look at their comments anymore.
Not on that video.
Oops.
No, not even even the landscape of YouTube that is just full of bad ideas and shilling. No one was gonna touch this, and no one's gonna either, because I got nothing but like Strike Industries, which is also hilarious, and
Oh,
yeah, and PDW stuff, and everyone that wants to make an MP5K but in an AR. No one actually has this thing. You know. So, okay, fine. You know what? At least the internet did its job to just filter out the dumb stuff today. But yeah, dude, like the rotating stocks again. Oh, yeah, perfect. Exactly. It which is even greater. And and that's how you more or less spot a grift over a product, is like, even theoretically, like bad products that are bad and that you shouldn't get. There's a concept there. There's a thing that they're trying to actually do. There's a thing that, or a problem that they're actually trying to solve. Maybe they solve that problem badly, right? Like the vast majority of things that Crimson Trace makes is terrible, right? But most people can't shoot pistols. Let's put a laser into the grip module. You can understand how they at least got there.
yeah.
Right. Stuff like
really
this.
helps on something like a J frame in the dark.
Yeah, stuff like this
but-
is a $400 tilting stock that does what?
Well, it's a CQB stop. That's why we made it as long as possible non-adjustable.
Made for CQB and even competition lanes too.
It's not even adjustable.
No,
No,
no. But it swivels, you see, because corners.
So it
keep
only
going, keep trying.
this
I
way,
believe in you.
but not the way it should. Okay.
Rifle barrel is here. You have 45 degrees this way, 45 degrees this way. Stock stays vertical the whole time. So you have this.
I mean, and the
It's
best way to
At
simulate.
least the shotgun went all the way around. At least then you could just spin it.
Well, and the best,
You
The
can
best
just
part about
butt
this-
hook it like an old noisemaker.
Hold it like this.
the best part about this too is that you could get this same effect for approximately $0 if you spend approximately 30 seconds with an AR wrench on a castle nut.
Yeah. I think that was one of their top comments was my rifle already does this, but I think it's broken.
Because why would you pay $400 when you could just break your stock yourself? Yeah. Yes, I'm still working on it. It's actually on board a mod 0 that also has a oh god help me, a force reset trigger in it. Yeah, the rare breed one that I did a video on a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Still working on it. Not going to give you updates because every time I start getting excited about it, then some immediately nonsensical thing happens and it breaks or whatever. I'm just not done collecting data.
My buddy, my army buddy, got a Taurus TX22 and got one of those FRT triggers for it. So that's a 1900 round.
Dude,
Heck
yeah, the cyclic rate on 22 handguns is stupid.
Yeah. Really can't wait to take that thing out.
We had a buddy down here that had two of
86 screws.
Not literally,
Wait.
but there's a lot. Like,
oh yeah.
the
There's a lot.
installation of the thing looks as though you're putting together furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's only a little.
That's not what the word furniture means in guns. You can't
Well-
IKEA a fucking stock. That's not allowed.
Apparently, they figured out how.
Well, straight to jail. No,
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is that like
it's practically alchemy. Don't.
I'm still willing to put in $50 towards getting one if we can mortar it straight out of the box.
yeah, just, like all
Because
right,
it's advertised as like super
Yep.
operator duty grade, and I
I'm a-
need to know.
I'm gonna set up this bullet over bolt real fast, beat on the forward assist nice and hard. All right, get after it.
Oh no, it's broke. Oh no, the screws. Oh no.
In the first 3 seconds, in the first 3 seconds that I hear some sort of something fell down the stairs toward my basement and metal sound. Right? So you know what? I can actually argue. I can argue you on this, but this is more or less an era's thing. Like in an era of red dots, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. 110%. You're right. I will say where I argue for them has to do in the arena of contrast and only a specific pattern of them, right? Like Heine, straight 8, right? Where you have the top and the bottom dots. That's all. And different colors. It allows you to get a little bit of contrasty stuff. And yeah, you're still reading the front sight post and that sort of thing for the most part anyway. And yeah, up close, the dots are mostly washed out. But even if you have a powerful enough light, even really like kind of dying tritium can give you some contrast. And if it's straight 8'd and if it's different colors, like my amber is the rear, right? It's usable. But in an era of dots, yeah, why do you have them at all? I don't use them at all since
That was
the
going
dots.
to be my argument last time I saw his comment on it
Yeah.
before he paid for it. Is if it's fine for old stuff, but like even my revolvers, I prefer like gold beads and like just higher contrast stuff.
And realistically speaking, it's like I like the color if I don't have a dot on the gun.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the color if I have a dot on the gun. Is it primarily what I'm reading after the instant they pop up in front of my face? No. But it does help me get there just a little bit. Although 3-dot setups, I've seen people misalign them and shoot like all the way over here someplace, right?
Yeah.
So I could argue with you just a little bit on this, but present day, you're right. You're 100% right. The only way that I could argue with you further on this is if you're using like a Beretta like 80 Cheetah, but those are dot compatible now, right? So I can't even really argue that. Or guns that are too small to appropriately fit dots on them in the first place. Okay, I'm there. Or if you're trying to lighten things up because for whatever reason, and I actually understand this a little bit too, you got like a shoulder rig going on. Let's say that you drive too much and you're trying to carry a small gun, whatever reason, right? I can fit night sights in there someplace, right? Far better than a friggin' what you call it, than a swiveling fucking stock. Right?
Yeah. Well, and homeboy talking about seeing them in the dark. If it's so dark that you only see your night sights, you probably need a flashlight.
Only reason why I'm acknowledging this is because you threw money at me. Laugh, turn around, walk away. Next.
Bro, you don't even have to low key the ADX Cheetah. I kind of want one too.
I kind of want one.
You can optic mount on a little 13 round 380. That sounds.
I mean, yeah, whatever. You got one guy worth of shooting to do, right? But, but like that one guy is getting the business because it looks really shootable.
Because you just watch it on
even if it's a straight blowback, right? Because that's what that is.
Blowback.
It just looks like if you ported that one guy's getting the business a whole bunch.
Yeah, a whole bunch.
And by the end of it, he's probably just thinking about ow,
Please stop shooting me with that thing.
And then I'm in the opposite direction with my hand on my head,
I still remember to this day. It was an old video of it was an old Cops episode, and some dude got in an argument over a ping pong game and got shot with a fucking Kel-Tec P380, that little deal. And the only reason the police got involved is they just saw this dude walking down the street in a bloody t-shirt, and they were like, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm all right." They're like, "Lift your shirt up." He's like, "Yeah, we got an argument over like it was like over like regular old like ping pong game or some shit."
Yeah. To be clear, F and F, I'm not arguing what's better. I'm saying I could argue for its inclusion on the planet.
Yeah,
That is all.
Not necessarily a scam.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I could argue for why it has a right to exist. That is all I'm saying. But in any case, I think this is a good segue to actually start talking about like training regimen and that sort of stuff. Primarily, let's start with the gym thing, right? This is where half the audience goes away. Look, I think that the primary benefit for the gym stuff that a lot of people don't, well, I needed my appetite back, honestly. I'm at 180 and I'm trying to hit 215, and with my frame, I can do it. That's really why. Yeah, of course, FNF is here for the fitness talk. I think, honestly, but besides just a functional human being thing, if we're talking about like you being the guy at the house, right? Because like we walk away from classes or competitions or whatever it is that we're doing, and like you go home and now like you're the guy, like house on fire, cats caught in the dryer, you're it. You have to solve all the little problems the second they get sort of serious. I think the primary benefit, honestly, of the physical fitness side of the house, honestly, is my brain is significantly more agile than it would be if I was just a greasy piece of shit.
Yep.
You know, Evan moves furniture literally all day long. He lost 50 pounds doing it. Right. Me and John actually met because I saw through through a Facebook post that
sugar. I don't want to. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But I also
we'll get there, right? Because the nutrition side of the house is a big deal on this. But my first interaction with John was on New Year's Eve. I was like, "Hey, I noticed that you're losing a bunch of weight. You're on the journey. Do you want a free class? I like go-getters." Right. And you know, he tried to do for 2 seconds the whole I don't know what to say, and I was like, "Say you're going." And talked to his wife for like 3 seconds. Like, all right, I'm in. So there you go. Right. So the mental agility, that's good to know. I will tune in on that. But the mental agility part, never mind the fact that you can open a friggin' mayonnaise jar, right?
Right.
The mental agility part, because I'm not taxed by doing other things, right? That's where that is, right? I'm 5'11" now. I used to be taller than that. The army made me shorter. Awesome. But I'm 180 pounds now. Don't look about 170. Brain is in great shape. I haven't been sick in like 6 years. How is that not a huge benefit, right? So as far as like individual process for that, everyone has a million different ways to go at it. Me personally, I am very much in the thought process of I have to be able to do what I'm doing forever, right? So my lifting standards are we're talking like 5 sets of 15. You know, descending weight, starting a little bit higher after the warm up, so because I got the gas, and it shouldn't feel different as you're descending because it doesn't. And of course, this comment, because I'm constructed like an anklet attached to a fat chick's ankle, just barely hanging on for dear life. But point is, though, is, you know, just a typical day for me is don't have your compound stuff conflict. Like bicep and back is a really normal thing for people to hear. And then it's 5 sets of 15, two exercises, descend in weight, and warm up before everything, because I'm turning 35 this year, right? So risk of injury is much higher than it's ever been, because if I get cut, it takes like a month to heal, right? And I'm not about bullying weight around. It's about staying under control. Control. Words like concentric and eccentric, that sort of thing, to where if I'm on the bench, it's nice and slow all the way down. We pause. and then try to push as hard as we can off of us. After set 2, it all looks the same speed. That's irrelevant, right?
Mhm.
And for me personally, right, it's a 3 on 1 off kind of deal, because I'm trying to push hard, but again, I'm trying to avoid hurting myself, because I got multiple places that are hurt. I have nerve damage in my neck, right side specifically. I got stuff fused together in my spine. My posture is great, but it's not because of the choice. I got some shoulder issues because I carried machine guns for a bit. So I'm really trying not to injure, because if I'm inactive, I do the opposite. I don't get super fat, I get super thin. Right. Because I've been at like 128, 29 pounds before. That's
Yeah,
rough.
you got like scary skinny for a little bit.
Yeah, that's rough. And it looks like you're actually starving to death. Not a joke. Looks like you're actually starving to death. And then you're sick all the time. But then, you're on schedule, right? So bicep, back, chest, tricep, and then you have, Jesus Christ, legs, shoulders, day off, interrupting somewhere in there. Usually like the 4th one is a cardio day. So it's still 3 on 1 off, but the 4th day, wherever that is, you throw in a cardio day, and you really hit that one hard, because doing cardio and then lifting stuff at the same time, at least based off of how my body responds to things, is kind of stupid. So that's more or less how I approach it. And then, of course, you're trying to get your full range of motion the whole time, because I'm trying to stretch stuff apart. And if I just need lighter weight to have the proper technique for that, I'm going to do that. It is what it is. And we can sit here. Here's what I hate too. It's cool to brag about maxes, but how many sets of those at 15 can I do? And if the answer is 0, I'm not really talking about it. Right? Like, I was really excited. I threw it in the chat one time because it was like, holy crap, I am almost 180, and I can bench 275 one time, barely, if I have like Vegeta screams playing in my ears. That doesn't matter at all, right? Because I could barely do that the one time, versus when I was in Texas for an event with John. He's watching me cartoonishly put up with dumbbell presses on a flat bag 80 pounds. That's more impressive to me, because I can get a full set of those. Now I immediately dropped to 65, but that's not the point. It's where's the real strength at, versus trying to bully stuff around, and then once I pick up a 10-pound rifle, it's now heavy to me. Right. So, Jesus Christ, that's retarded. But also, I mean, your profile picture of you attached to a sled, it makes sense.
Oh yeah, F&F's got a dump truck on him. that boy farmer strong.
So I actually use, some people may flame or love this, I actually used the RP hypertrophy app to log all of my stuff and vary things up.
Nice.
So for people that
RPI?
Huh?
What's it called?
The RP hypertrophy app. For Renaissance periodization. Mike Israel is a pretty good source for a lot of stuff.
Gotcha.
He's good at conveying like common sense stuff that people pretend like they know.
Right. Oh yeah, he's a turbo nerd with like lifting. I know that.
I'm sorry. Attached to a bus. Fuck you, dude.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, fuck you a little bit. Whoops. Sorry about that. I am a shit human being. I'm usually much better at replying to people. My bad.
Sometimes. You're getting better.
I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying. But like much like how a lot of people do the shooting stuff, and we'll get to that, there is no way that you could possibly know that you're getting even a little bit better if you're not tracking your stuff. And even if your program sucks, mine might suck, right? I at least know the metrics of where I'm going and where I'm at, right? So if something dawns on me and I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, and I want to change up to it, or my body is just not responding in the way that it was, right? I can change that up and then track the progress on that. And it also keeps you from sandbagging it, right? Because there are days that we walk in and just go walking through the door frame, you don't want to be there. By rep 1, you feel like you have a fever almost because your whole body heated up real fast and you don't want it. So I'll have to look it up. But yeah, so that's more or less me. It's not complicated at all. It can be really complicated, but that's where I'm at on this. And I'm amazed that the audience didn't immediately dip to like 15. But that's where I'm at on that. We can talk about nutrition separately because everybody's got input on that too. John?
I mean, you know me, I've still been lifting pretty much almost the same split you were talking about before. The biggest thing for me is
Right.
I really fell off last year with cardio, and you know, we do forget the heart is a muscle. It does need to be worked. And just, everyone makes jokes about, hating cardio. Big thing this year, anyone that tunes into my channel, I started Muay Thai about 5 months ago. And I'm starting to learn that like cardio doesn't have to be just running. It doesn't have to be just boring shit. Try like he really tried. Chris tried to get me into running for a long time. I did do a couple 10Ks. I did get used to it, but I never really fully fell in love with it. But it doesn't have to be just running. There's all types of cardio, and I'm learning that this year. I mean, 2 hours of Muay Thai, just doing pad work even with some jump rope will wear you the hell out.
Yeah, that's a
And
lot of cardio.
Dude, it's fun, and I think that's one of the biggest lessons in my training this year is finding ways that you can still step up and be hard. There's been days where I felt like I was gonna die. I mean, I also turned 40 this year. Chris talked about 35 healing. 40-year-old risk adversity, or
Yeah,
yeah,
it's even
it
higher. And I'm
sucks.
right between both of y'all, so
Yeah, buckle up.
uh-huh.
'Cause
Like it's yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you can see it. That cut on that knuckle is about a month and a half old, and that was shit just doesn't heal the same way it used to. And
Yeah.
yeah, the big thing is to tail off of that is learning how to train smarter as you get older, while not necessarily dropping your standards. You can still train hard, but there's a way to go about it where you're not just breaking shit. And then for me,
Yeah,
it's also finding a way to make it fun.
Yeah, because if you're not having fun, you won't do it. At least I won't. If I'm not at least enjoying what I'm doing along with it, I just get bored.
Oh yeah, and just even my first couple Thai boxing classes, I met the owner and the head coach of the gym. And he's like, "You look like you want to die," and I'm like, "Oh, I do." And he's like, "Sucks a lot, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Do you like it?" I'm like, "Oh, I love it. I'll be back tomorrow." Like once I learn how to breathe again, but. But I think that's a big thing that people fall off on. Is like you said, they try something, they get told you have to do this. You have to do this, and they try it, and it sucks. And it, like you said, if you don't like it, you're not going to keep up to it. You can force yourself to do something for a while, but if you have no passion in it, you're not going to keep up with it. So the biggest thing for me this year is figuring out a routine that I wouldn't plateau at and wouldn't, get complacent with. And this shit's been awesome. And also learn how to fight, dude. Learn how to be violent if you need to, because the world's not always nice.
So the boxing gym stuff is kickboxing gym stuff is actually great because like let's say it's not even for the fighting part, right? learning how to keep your brain working and outthinking things when you're tired is a must. It's absolutely a must. It's one of the first things that I notice when I teach open enrollment classes, just for gun stuff, right? Where I got all these numbers and colors and all this fuck shit that people have to think themselves through. And it's never a problem day one, really. It's like, okay, yeah, I got to teach the concept of the thing. That's never a problem. That then, day 3, when they're tired and they've been working a few long days in a row, and now when I'm making them do one-handed stuff with rifles and they have all their armor and cool guy stuff on and that sort of thing, how fast you get to that I'm really tired and barely keeping up portion of your brain is, I think, a massive indicator, right? Because what I tell guys in classes and that sort of stuff is like, we have to think about this. If what we've done over the last few days genuinely kind of hurts your ability to process because you're breathing too hard, we need to reconsider what we're doing, right? And this doesn't mean, hey, go run 8 billion miles and that sort of thing. And that there's a reason why I brought up this guy right here, right? Because look, I got stuff that hurts too, man. I start running too long and a long list of things start to really hurt. I can do it. I'm better built for it. And I am nowhere near as built for like rucking 1 million miles. Even though I still throw in at least 1 12-miler a month and just kind of grit teeth, honestly, through it. I just have to be able to do it because I still have soldiers and stuff to lead, platoon sergeant life. But point is that, like, okay, there's other ways of doing it, right? You don't have to just sit there and beat your knees on concrete for 5 million hours. It's how long can your heart just move? Right.
Yep.
And little stuff like, and some people may or may not think this is real. And I understand why, because more or less the data on it is inconclusive. Regular sauna input, at least to me, like 20, 30 minutes at 150 degrees, right? Or 160 degrees, or if I can get it there, 175, and I'm there for a half hour, right? By the way, don't start there. That's a lot. Your heart is forcing itself to like move properly because you're in an oven.
Yeah.
And then you tack that on at the end after breathing hard through your regular workout and that sort of stuff. And that was not a cardio day for me, right? So if you structure your workouts proper, all of it works into that circulatory system. And yes, to me, endurance is a big deal. Like both of these guys have seen me do this, and a bunch of people in this chat have seen me do it, to where they're watching me wear gear and constantly move and having to manage people, and my brain has to go at 2 million miles an hour. And I probably rolled right into work because I was handling other stuff. And roll into work means I have states worth of commute before I get there. And then I have to work 12 to 15-hour days, 3 days straight. And the whole time, like, they notice that there is no real performance dip, right? There's no real lapse in judgment or ability to notice details or whatever, right? And yes, some of this is practice, but the other half of this is my body's good for it because I put it there, right? Because whatever I do in the physical training part, which by the way isn't crazy, right? If we include sauna, it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes total. And if we have to cut that out for whatever reason, right? Delete a half hour from that. It's not that much. You just train hard while you're there. And now the circulatory system is there and stuff is getting stretched out. So it's getting built proper. And then the nutrition part, which we will talk about here shortly, that lives up to expectations after a while too, because your body is building itself for better things, right? And suddenly 12 hours on a range is nothing. Or wearing armor on for 3 days straight, or night vision, because I just taught a night vision class. That's nothing, and keeping your brain working. And all this sorts itself into what you are supposed to be when you are at the house. And that is, forget all the gun stuff. You're the dude that has to solve the problems when you are the least prepared to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So as far as methods and that sort of stuff, that's part of how we get there. I hate these. Like 40s, I'm assuming. where like you gun it, turn around, walk back, gun it, and do that for like 2 straight miles, which is like 80 something sprints. That sucks. But hell, yeah, that works too. You know. Oh, and no, I get it, man. I'm just saying, like, you have to find the alternates if stuff is broken. I totally get that. Right?
Yeah.
I was just going on the longer explanation for it, and we get it. So, but yeah, oh come on, just budget. You can budget yourself to get fit enough to pull a damn bus. You can budget for friggin' night vision. You're fine. Okay, yeah, sure. How I typically do mine is a 40. I'll sprint it, turn around, walk back, and then I'll set like a total distance. So like I'm at my run app if I'm doing sprints on this particular occasion. So I can preserve as much full speed as long as possible because there's little breaks. So it's very set go receiver camp type stuff. But when you walk back, it's like, okay, ready, set, get dug in, gun it. You know, and then it's that for and 2 miles is like 85, 88 total sprints worth of that, to the point where you have to set on a different leg because you start loading into that hip pretty hard. So yeah, 250 at 5.9 that's a lot of leg movement if you're sprinting 100 meters, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So it's as simple as that, right? And then the other half of this, right, and most people talk about this or give it lip service or whatever, is the nutrition side of the house. To me, at least, right, I'm a hard gainer, unless someone has figured out a friggin' drug for it that just starts stacking on weights that isn't steroids. I'm a hard gainer, so everything is a list of stats to me now, right? Because if I'm doing real good and I don't have any setbacks, I can gain something like half a pound a month. And I've been doing that for a couple of years now, or a few years now. And we're at like, and my hydrated weight, because there's a difference, obviously. There's a hydrated weight of 184. That's kind of where I live. In the hydrated lane, super dehydrated, we can be like 179 or 180, something like that. Point is that eating healthier actually is making it easier to add it on, right? Because like the fatty stuff, I just burn right through, and I don't know what the hell the deal is on that. But the more stat based that I make, a lot of this stuff without wanting to hate food for like the rest of my life, right? Because I was on periods where I see your question. I was at periods where it's like 5,000 calories a day, and just looking at food makes me sick.
Yeah.
I have to not look at food and hate it, right? So the intake actually isn't friggin' crazy, right? The intake is more or less around on a higher, well, a more typical day is around about 3-ish, depending on what kind of day I'm having or if I'm away or whatever, right? And we're still just trying to do 3 squares, throw in a little bit of extra protein after workouts, that sort of stuff. And I see your other question too. I've been hanging out at 185 now for how long have I been saying this? I was all happy about it.
It's been at least 4 or 5 months.
I'm bad at telling time. I'll say at least a year. It's probably been like 3 weeks. I don't know.
It's been about 4 months. It hasn't been a year. I know that much.
Yeah, so something like that, right? Where
Year,
we're under, I think, at least a half year. At least it feels that way, right? So, okay, great. I've noticed that losing is way easier, right? And gaining is way harder. And the answer is probably intake more to the point where you hate your relationship with food, but I really don't want to do that too. And John is flipping me off because he has the exact opposite.
Yeah,
problem.
me too.
Yeah. I look at a sandwich and I gain a pound.
Yeah, I have the opposite problem. I can't eat shit. But I have gout, so I just cut out sugar. So,
Dude, sugar was huge when I first started losing weight. When I was like 300, like just
yeah,
cutting out sugar was one
yeah,
of
it
the
was
first
a
things
lot.
I did. It's insane.
Well, and then
Well,
the
also,
where,
the more you start looking at food, you realize sugar is in everything too.
yeah, and the more processed it is, the better. Yeah.
The better it
So,
tastes. It's so good.
Well, yeah. The faker it is, the worse it is for you. But
so,
the yeah,
so,
I was gonna
and
say the warehouses I worked in weren't air conditioned either, so
hell yeah.
the sauna thing was pretty fucking relevant in the Texas heat with a skylight.
And to answer what you call it, FNF's friggin' question there, because he's are the strength gains stalled? I don't believe so. The reason why I say that is I took pretty close to a month off just to like let my friggin' joints feel better, right? And I'm in that was in July, later July, so I'm in that period where we're getting back towards where the limits were. I'm trying to slowly get back into that because again, I'm really trying to injury prevent because I've been laid up in enough hospitals, and maybe this is just me being a cowardly little bitch, but we're approaching back to where the gains where I was at my limits before. The last time I did this, it took about 2.5, almost 3 months, and then I was able to add significantly more than I would have previously by just taking that 1 month off and then easing back into it. So that's me right now. I don't know if I'm stalled yet because I'm just underneath where my previous maxes were without me getting like crazy systemic fatigue. So I'll let you know. But I don't believe so. I don't believe I'm at that plateau just yet, but I guess we'll find out because I've been adding over time anyway. So also, I've chilled out a lot with the cigarette smoking part. I smoke, and people that have taken classes from me know I smoke a lot when I teach. I've chilled a lot on that because the appetite suppressor is really real, and I cannot have days anymore where I'm at like a meal and a half almost, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good because it's not good. It's not good at all. So,
I watched this man kill a Marlboro pretty fast one morning, and then kill about another half of one and flick it off, and then run me into the dirt on a 3 mile run one time. I was pretty upset about it.
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
at
know.
yeah,
Dude, you
I'm at
should smoke like a chimney and not care about it.
yeah. I mean, like I'm at the point now where it's been a little bit. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. It's been a little bit since I've had a cigarette. We're talking inside of a week, right?
Mm.
Um,
For you, that's a lot.
that's a long time. That's a
For
long
me,
time.
that's a lot too.
Well, because when I'm not teaching, and if I was just normally smoking, right, we're sitting there like maybe half a pack to 3/4 a pack a day. When I'm teaching, it's like a pack and a half a day.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Oh,
when I
easy,
smoke
yeah.
my most is when I'm with you on a range.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, when I'm teaching and I have to be super alert, right, and then when like the tismy part of my brain is worrying a little bit because I'm every class that I do, there's that portion of the back of my head that's like, oh my god, and it gets the willies, right? So I start friggin' stimming. So I smoke a lot, right? And I'm on like a stupid number of not calories, milligrams of caffeine a day,
Uh,
like 1,200, and none of this is good. None of this is good for me. Oh god, yeah, like I'm knocking out 300s at a time, and I'll knock out like 4 of them jazzes, and I'll have guys like John look at me and be like, "How are you alive?" I don't know either. But I can tell you right now, my heart is
well,
not at hummingbird speed. So I don't
that
know.
was the early days, and now it's been what 8 or 9 years, and now I see Chris get a cigarette, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need a cigarette, and I see him slam a monster, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got one of those too.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, it's like, hey, do you feel like shit? Because I feel like shit.
I feel like dog shit because I smoked a whole pack of cigarettes sitting here yelling at people all day. And I'm just smoking because I look over and he's having one, and I'm like, I guess it's time for a cigarette.
Oh, that's the best. We'll have a 5 minute lull. Chris pulls out the Lucky Strikes, and you see 6 more packs come up that
Yep.
nobody else is thinking about
Yeah,
until that exact moment.
it's not news to him except for the numbers, like the actual numbers.
Oh yeah, no, I know he lives on caffeine. I just I didn't think it was quite 1,200 milligrams a day. I
I'm
figured like
for sure.
6 to 900, but not 12. But that is only like, what is that?
That's
Only like
4
4
rains.
monsters.
If
Or
it's
4
300,
rains. 4 rains, yeah.
if it's 300,
Monsters are only like what, 140 or something.
Monster is 150.
150, yeah, it's not much.
Ghost Rain, what's the other one? All those are like 300. Bucked Up.
Bang.
Well,
I hate that. I don't like Bucked Up. It's such a douchey name.
And there does come the point in time where you're like writing everything down and you start looking at the real math of what it is that you're doing, and you're just like, Jesus Christ.
My wife makes iced coffee like in a pitcher in the fridge.
Yeah,
I'll have that in the morning, and I'm
Yeah.
still like running a little sleepy, and I'm like, better get a rain. And I drink a rain after that. I'm like, I can feel every hair on the back of my back, and I can feel electricity through everything. And body's just over here 1,200 milligrams. Oh, not anymore.
Not anymore. But I do remember being freaked out the first time I saw it.
Oh, Rip It.
Yeah, at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, what is this? Yeah, because I'm used to like the shotgun.
I bought the grape one. I was like, yo, run me that. And then I drank it. I was like, oh, I remember why we.
Yeah, like I got used to the small boys, and the tall stuff was really weird to my eyeballs. And yes, I actually personally really agree. And not even the fizzy ones. There is it powderized with my creatine in here as well, which I do take because I like it when my brain works good.
I like their popsicle flavors that C4 does.
Oh yeah.
My favorite flavors are the closest thing to if beige were a flavor, right? So like they're strawberry watermelon or the blue. I don't even know what the blue one says.
It's like some sort of berry.
Yeah, blue.
It's not a natural color.
Blue. I will say blue is usually the best flavor of anything. I will stand by blue flavor gang forever.
The red that isn't cough syrup cherry is usually up there too. Whatever brand of whatever that is.
Yeah, cherry's solid. Cherry and grape are always a solid choice.
Yeah,
they do an orange slice. C4 does, and it tastes just like was it Sunkist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orange Crush or something.
Yeah, and now like occasionally I like the fizzy stuff, especially if it comes straight out of a cooler and I'm teaching and Ashley's doing the range mom thing and she's keeping me stapled together now. But yeah, for the most part, it's to powderize stuff because if I need my brain to work, it just hits a little bit faster. Also, when I'm like mixing pre-workout and that sort of thing, because I do that. By the way, when you select pre-workout, not a lot of guys will understand this too, or can attest to this, aside of a couple of guys that are in here. If you go to buy pre-workout and you see like in the ingredients list little crosses that say like proprietary blend and that sort of stuff, you're probably what's that?
You're getting scammed. Going back to our second topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to specify the amounts of anything in that, right? Nope. Something that's easy to get out of like a Walmart or something, right? And some people might flog me for saying this in the first place. It's just easy to get. Relax. Like Total War is in Walmart, and it actually gives you a full ingredients list and that sort of thing. Not the greatest stuff ever, but at the very least, you know what is going inside of your little sippy cup, right? So you have to know what's in it, right? So the second you see little proprietary blend and then crosses and that sort of stuff, don't buy that. You're probably just buying watered down caffeine and powder that tastes like buttholes for no reason. So there it is, right?
I still think we should just let the original 80s jacked formula come back and just set it free.
A lot of people have done that already. It's called meth.
Yeah.
So
other than the ephedrine, it was great. It fucking worked.
You open the label on it, it's like, why do you smell spicy? Right? So, but so that's where a lot of that stands. But this all cycles itself back towards the shooting part, right? There's a lot of people that all of us know, as a for instance, that have been training, air quotes, for years and have never written anything down. And like this isn't to throw people under the bus or whatever. That said, if you have not written a thing down, if you do not have an active log of what you are individually training on the range, you have wasted your time up to this point. Because aside of some basic weapons manipulation stuff, you do not, in my eye, have any idea whether or not you are getting better or worse. Because the data is where you need to be. And here's what I mean by this, right? This isn't just, okay, how far is my draw to first shot time, right? If I'm going to do 2 reload 4, what's the overall time on that? What's the splits? It's not what I'm talking about. What you need to have is a metric standard that you actually score yourself to, and whatever you suffer the most at within that metric standard, you need to aggressively attack. For instance, the people in this chat, well, a bunch of people in this chat and the people on this call are aware of what my gauge is. So just as a, for instance, a quick description, yeah, hit factor is a big one, right? But outside of that world, although that world is very much important, and I wouldn't say discount it, right? Because in my individual training, I use USPSA classifiers. I don't compete, but I use them to more or less gauge or metric other things that I'm working on, because it's just smart to do. And by the way, the reason why I don't compete is simply because I want to autistically attack something and I just don't have the time. I want to, and probably in the next 12 months, I'm going to start. I just don't at present, aside of little local matches that mean nothing other than, can I just perform, what you call it? Can I just perform if asked to do it on demand, whatever it is. So for instance, the gauge, my standards for that, right? Let's talk about pistol just as a for instance. There's a little bit of a scoring scheme in here. I'll try to keep this brief. So, because then we can talk about it and where all of us are on this. So it's a series of drills, 2 phases. You score each phase, right? Each phase is worth 100 total points. Penalties deduct from this. Line perforations are scoring systems down, so they penalize, they don't help you. So the first drill set starts at 25 yards, right? It's all from a draw, and the standards are based off of concealed, although gun belts are permitted. So 25, right? You have 8 seconds. This is the base standard for this, and base standard is an important thing to state. The base standard is from a draw, 10 rounds, 8 seconds at 25. Your target zone is the chest A zone, right? Sounds simple. We'll get to that here in just a minute. It is, but it isn't, depending on who you are. And if it is, then there's ways around this or to improve this. But that's the first one. Then we go to the 15, and then it's a draw and a single shot. 3 reps of it, 2-second par per individual draw, right? So 3 reps of that. And then we go to the 5-yard line. The 5-yard line is from the draw, 5 chest A zone, and then 2 head, right? So the par time for the single shot, by the way, is 2 seconds. Again, base standards at 15 yards. Chest A zone is the score you want, is the zone you want. And then the 5 and 2, the 5 and 2 is a 3.6, right? At 5 yards. You should be able to just kind of draw the gun, rip those guys off, and then up in here. Now, this is the headshot is a specific headshot drill set. So if you miss that completely, then you have further miss penalties that are added to you and that sort of thing. But if you get both rounds inside of the A zone of the head, you can actually take one of your mistakes and zero it, right? So if I have an overtime or if I have a miss or whatever, I can zero one of that, because sometimes compensating for bad stuff with really good stuff is how real life works, right? So that's first phase. Score it out of a possible 100. A zone is 0. Anything C zone, including the entire head, unless it's a specific headshot drill, is -1. C is -3. Miss, overtime, overshoot is -5 each, right? And if you line perforate, it's a scoring system down, so that hurts you. So if you line perforate on the very edge, it's a miss, right? If I missed the head completely, I have misses prior, but then I add a miss per round for the headshot drills because you were missing an entire head. There's consequences for that. If I shoot over the 20 rounds, it's -5 per, because we get in trouble for overshooting in real life too. So things like that. So every round that's outside of that A zone hurts you in some way, right? Overtimes are -5 apiece, like I said. So then that's phase 1. You score that out of a possible 100. That's whatever your score is. Phase 2, you go to 25 again. And from a draw, it's 5 rounds one hand, switch 5 rounds the other hand. You have 14 seconds for it. That's the base times. And then, so, and this is one-hand stuff at 25, right? Okay. Not a big deal there. All right, FNF, we'll see you later. Peace. But that's at 25, and then we go to 15, right? Where now it is 2 reps of 1R1s, 1 reload 1s. You have 4 seconds for it. It used to be 5. It's down to 2 now. And then we go to the 7-yard line after that. Because this is to address what a lot of people don't do on their 1R1s, and that's build that grip back up, because the whole point of an emergency reload is to then shoot a bunch after that. It's an emergency, right? So it's draw 2 in the head piece. Same rules apply for the head piece. Reload 4 in the chest A zone, right? And the part time for that is 5 seconds. Well, the reason is because the 2 reload 4 is now in. Keeps the round count the same. Makes sense? So, and of course, if you screw up the reload hard enough, all of those 4 rounds could very easily be overtime, right?
Yeah, we've seen it happen.
Quite a bit. I've seen people miss the head twice, botch the reload, and then have all 4 rounds overtime. That's a lot of points that are just ripped off of your possible 100 in that phase. So, okay, cool. That's a second phase. Score that out of a possible 100, and then you combine the 2, right? Now, I say all that to say this. Your metrics for this, for the most part, because hard skills are really important, especially base hard skills. Like, none of the tactical shit matters even remotely if you don't have the hard skills to... Because, like, I'll take a guy that's got good fundamental skill set on a thing and a little bit of common sense 10 times, okay? I'll take that guy every single day of the week, twice on Sunday, over a guy that knows all the tactical shit.
Mm-hmm.
That has a lot of buddies that are in CAG or whatever, right? I'll take the former rather than the latter all day long because I can actually teach him things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't solve bad shooting in the middle of the tactical stuff, right? So how we measure this in this context is if your overall is 80% consistently, like 10 times in a row, 80% or higher, now you have to make everything harder. And you do that by increasing distances or taking time away or increasing penalty zones, or yes, just sort of depends, right?
Mm-hmm.
How you get to that point is if the one-handed stuff, for instance, jacks you all the way up, cool. After a gauge, you have something to aggressively attack, right? Because we have to be able to draw and shoot the gun a bunch. We have to be able to get it out quick. We have to be able to shoot one-handed. I have to be able to manipulate the gun and get things working if things don't work. Because stoppages just come for you during the gauge for some reason, right? And the reason for the base time standards is there's just enough time in there to where if you have a problem, you can fix it if it's perfect. If your identification for this stuff is spot on, you can instantly fix it and get the job done and still be in time. So how do I handle all of that as far as the base hard skills? And if there's something that hurts me the most, I can aggressively attack that individually. You can formulate a plan, right? So then when you increase your standards, right, reaching for much higher than what most people would go after, because people that track like how police department qualifications or military qualifications are, this is many leagues higher than that, but that's not saying much. So if the standards are much higher than dumb things like that, and then you consistently push the envelope with things that you can individually track and formulate attack plans for, then you can expand that to other horizons, right? So when you start messing with USPSA classifiers, just inserting that into your training regimen, that can find the little things that you need, right, to add on to aggressively attack. Like if your stage planning sucks ass, that just means that your mental agility isn't matching what you can visualize in a couple of minutes. That's it. Great, cool, deal with it, right? If your reloads are just not there, cool. What's wrong specifically with those? If the number of people that have major issues with the 10 shots, the first drill, 10 rounds, 8 seconds at 25. Great, cool. What's happening, right? How many doubles do I need to do in order to realize that after a certain amount of time, I'm loosening that support hand up and I'm not tracking the dot the way I should because my hands are not taking advantage of my leverage and friction consistently? That's how you deal with things like this. So you have to write all of this stuff down. And when I tell guys, especially at classes, is even if it's abysmal, because I've seen, especially when the standards for everything increase a bit, including me, dude. I've had scores where it's like negative, big number. It's still log, right? Because that's like that really bad day is still you. You're capable of doing that. You did it, right? So what were the biggest causes of that? And I know that was a really long-winded thing to say, but now we can move on to, from me sitting here jaw-jacking about it a whole bunch, to actually talking about how we implement these systems into our individual training. No, it's a 2R4, 2 head reload, 4 chest A zone. So, yeah, exactly why that change was made, right? The whole point of an emergency reload is to build your grip back up and get ready to give them some more of the business, right? And if people are gamifying the 1R1s, first couple of drills are just, okay, do I have the mechanics at 15? Then after it, it's a, you run it 2R4. And that's where we see a lot more issues because the weapons manipulation is there, but then the rest of that isn't. The whole purpose behind having that isn't. And it's also a throttle control thing too, but whatever. But now that I have sat there and ranted about it a whole bunch, we can talk about how we implement that into individual training cycles. We'll start with John, so I can shut the fuck up for 2 seconds.
No, you kind of already covered it first. I mean, when I first started doing the gauge, yeah, it was kind of a shit show because it was something new, but you can tell what's good, what's bad, what's really bad. And then it really points out to me also, I gauge progression by I always kind of know I'm getting better at something based on how nervous I am before I have to do it, you know? So
Obviously, you
stage
have
one
to
of the
take it.
gauge. Yeah, stage one of the gauge, I can rip out 10 rounds. Fine, got that. For a while, my reloads were they're iffy. I could work on them and get them in there. And then we go to phase 2. That first drill where it's one-handed, every time that the nerves would just flare up because I knew I sucked at it. I knew I wasn't working at it. And I was like, oh God, here it comes. Here's where all the scores are going to tank. And so there you go, right there. That's what you need to go work on. You don't need to go to the range tomorrow and work on your 1R1s that you already have under time. You know you can do that, but you want to do that because it makes you feel all nice and tingly because you're avoiding this shit over here that actually needs some work that's going to look ugly for a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right there. I think I said it last time I was on too, is as far as implementation and training, especially planning for how you're going to train,
Yeah, it
quit
makes a lot of sense.
quote unquote training the shit you're already good at. We know you can do that. You know you can do that, but you
Yeah.
won't want to go do the hard shit because it's going to feel gross for a while. But
Yeah.
there's no way to get around that. You're just going to
No.
have to be gross for a little bit.
Either a 10-shot magazine or just you don't have a choice. You have to get it done. If your
Mhm.
capacity is lesser, deal with it.
Sucks.
You
That's
know.
crazy. You made that choice before you left the house
Well, and I mean,
or moved to that state or whatever.
there are reasons why guys make decisions before they walk out of the house. There's a pro con to everything. Unfortunately, so a lot of the times the answer is
Yep.
Fix it.
You know,
Or damn, that's crazy.
no, it's 2 reps of 1R1, right? And then a 2R4. Are you tracking, following all of that? Because the first drill in phase 2 is a 5 and 5. It's 10 total rounds. 2 1R1s. So that's 4 total rounds. Okay, he's got it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. No, I get it too. You know, guys just want to have the correct round count and that sort of thing. Okay, so put it this way,
You
right?
think this is confusing? This is like the 6th generation of the gauge that I've had to talk
Yeah.
to Chris about.
Yeah.
I've been trying to tinker with this because I try to find weaknesses in this process, right? I look internally for a lot of things and I'm paranoid. So, and incredibly autistic. So I start seeing where people look forward to things in the gauge and I don't like it.
Mhm.
Right. I start looking at what can be gamed up more or less without forcing you to actually do the thing, the whole reason behind the thing. I don't like it. If we finish a drill within it and then there's a sigh of relief, oh, thank God I have 5 reloads to do. I'm super set on this. That's why I just gritting my teeth through the one-handed stuff. I don't like that. The one-handed stuff used to not be timed. Guys used to be like, okay, I can make my money on this. I don't like that either. Right. So now it's timed because you're already having a bad day, but now you got to do it faster. Why not? Right.
Mhm.
And 6 is probably a low estimate on
Just
the
to interrupt you. To go back to like gauging, I knew I was getting better by how nervous I was. Once I finally started hammering out that one-handed shit, the first day you told me, "Hey, this is time now," I was like, "Okay, that's fine. How much time? It's fine." So if you can start getting to that point where minute changes on the fly like this don't bother you as much, that's also a good metric to know that you're doing at least something in the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess the best thing to put forth on this, right, is that like if you heard one of these metrics or one of these standards and there is an amount because you can always picture yourself doing this. If there is an amount of reasonable fear as to whether or not you can do that, you already have an indicator.
Mhm.
Right. So speaking on this, and I can ask both of you a question on this because I know how I would handle it, but pick a thing within this drill set, right? And specifically on this, because there's an enormous expanse of different point metrics and blah, blah, blah. Say somewhere in here during this handgun stuff, right? There is a portion of this that you fear, reasonably, of course. How do you address that? You specifically, because I have an idea, I don't actually know. So pick whatever that is, right? If I were to ask you to do it right now, and let's say even if I have to modify standards or whatever, or let's say that we up the difficulty. The second we start to up the difficulty on this, what are you afraid of? Air quotes. And how would you address that going forward after you get your ass blasted by it during said gauge?
I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say I haven't actually been to a class since you started doing the gauge as far as taking one. But I haven't now. But from what I've seen of it, the one-handed shit's gonna fuck me up. Just like John said. Especially with a dot now. Oh my god.
Well, breaking it down further, what about it? Besides just yes, what about it?
I know what's gonna happen is I'm gonna look at the dot and I'm gonna watch the dot fiddle around in there while I'm going one-handed, and it's gonna fuck me up thinking I'm yanking the shot every time. I already know that's what's gonna happen one-handed.
Okay, so let's say I'm giving you a short period of time. If you don't have this handled, I'm burning your house down. How are you attacking that problem?
Repetition.
What?
But
Well,
you also know from personal experience, in the moment, I tend to do all right.
so but break it down though. Besides just do it a lot, because do it a lot. What are you looking for? What drills are you going to add specifically to let's say that the ammo budget is just there for you? Doesn't matter. I don't care. The round count it can just be met. What specifically is making an improvement for you personally in this event?
I mean, like,
Besides just the do it part, right?
Yeah. Instead of just repetition. I mean, I definitely have to just concentrate on. So when I use iron sights, a lot of times the way I would visualize it, if I was trying to concentrate on one shot with a handgun, is I would visualize pulling the front sight through the rear sight. That was the way I always. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Well, no, we'll address that in just a second.
Or just do more
that's vital in what we're talking about. But go ahead.
So yeah, I don't know if I have like a similar cheat that I do with a red dot, and since I use that cheat so much with iron sights on a handgun, I don't know if I have something else in the toolbox to do the same thing.
So all I heard was you now have to evaluate your present process, and if it doesn't work, you have to apply something else, right? Because like how I would answer this question as a full-time coach, trainer, all of that buzzword shit is, okay, it's not just the one-handed stuff, it's the individual mechanics of that one-handed shit. Everybody knows their trigger control is ass. So in that atmosphere, especially because the gun's bucking around a bunch. But that said, it's like, okay, little stuff. Tracking the dots easier if you don't cant the fucking gun, right? So you have to force yourself for longer periods of time to just keep that gun vertical so that it has a predictable recoil impulse so that I can see what's happening more.
Yeah,
maybe I have to align my body a little bit more of it toward my target area, because if I'm nice and square, all I'm doing is attempting to hyperextend the shoulder a bit, right? Maybe I have to pay attention to the fact that most people really don't grip their guns one-handed because they're afraid to, right? Okay, maybe if I just grip the gun and learn how to do that while also working this dingus, we're in better shape. So it's those little corrections that you have to force into doing this better.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and now I have to throw in a shot timer, because the second you feel good and then the time starts.
You don't.
Do you have this for a revolver? This thing? Do you have like a modified version of it?
I forget what I wrote them up forever ago, and I've been modifying it slowly in conjunction.
I'll bug you about it.
Yeah, we'll get on later at it, and I'm sure other people are going to be like, "What the fuck is this?" Right? But I wrote it up a while ago. I'm gonna have to dig for it and look, because I don't actually remember, because I don't spend anywhere near as much time around revolvers as I used to.
Yeah,
I think someone in our other chat probably has it.
Yeah,
Kylan.
Yeah, I figured he would. Because he's got the other wheel gun.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, like I said, I carried semi-autos most, but it'd be good to have both. A good way of judging both.
Fair enough. But John, Same question.
So, going back, say it's the one-handed drill. For me, it was starting at kind of a macro level and then evaluating in. So the first problem was, holy shit, that's a lot of misses. That's a lot of misses and sloppy hits. If we zoom that in, is where are they missing? And I started noticing it was elevation was good, but I was slinging a lot of shots left to right off target. So now we start talking about why is it doing that? And that's keep shrinking this in and in and in, evaluating. And that's when what this boiled down to is I learned I don't pull a trigger the same way one-handed that I do two-handed. My whole life, a lot of us heard, middle of the pad, anything else is a sin. And I found out for me, two-handed, that works just fine. If I do that one-handed, especially in the age of a red dot, before I even break that trigger, just trying to hold a gun on target and just feeling how that trigger works, I can watch my dot go left to right. So that led me shrink that in a little bit further. Maybe this isn't the same all the time. And just through playing with that, I found that actually shooting a gun one-handed, I pull a little bit closer to this knuckle. And it's a quarter inch of where my finger is on the trigger. Difference between this and this.
Yeah.
And it's I try to I guess that would be my answer to make, a long story short story a midget. Um Starting big, what's the big picture of what's going bad here? And then just trying to shrink that in until that's how I finally got to and I found that it's different with my left hand too. My left hand wall was one handed, but in a completely different way that I had to find a different part of my finger that works on that.
Hmm.
And going back to what you said, yes, it's repetition, but it's repetition with a purpose. We've always heard the phrase practice makes perfect, and it's not necessarily true. Practice
No.
makes permanent. If you do
Yeah.
something over and over bad, it's going to make it permanently bad.
Right.
Good practice makes
Mhm.
perfect. You have
Well,
to have you have to be updating what you're actually looking to do through these repetitions. And if you're
and,
not getting the results you want, you have to think about why.
and what's great about this is that writing it down, the metrics, having to stare at these averages and these point values and that sort of stuff, it kind of makes you care, right? It makes you try and figure it's not just the big stuff. It's like, oh God, I got to hit that. Okay. Yeah. No shit. What is happening? Why is it happening? Why are you wiggling like that? Can you make it stop or can you not? I mean, how do I handle one side to another side and that sort of thing? And by the way, rifle is very difficult on this because I make you shoot with both sides and I also make you like go to the ground now.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not like the distances are the same. Like we start at 50 yards in the standing low ready, 7 rounds, and then you jump into the prone, and then you have 3 rounds to fire. And by the way, the timetable is look, 8 seconds sounds like a lot of time. It does.
You get
And
numbered
if you have the hard skills, 8 seconds is a lot of time. But what I will say is 8 seconds is incredibly short for a lot of people that think that they do. Right? That have not had to get into a prone with a sense of urgency or scope it before they hit the ground and figure out whether or not they're going to go magazine on the ground or not, depending on just the terrain or the crap that's on your body. Right? So just little stuff like that messes with a lot of people. So it makes you dissect what's going on. And that's more or less the crux on this whole thing. Because the littlest shit, like this right here, right? I understand the intent originally behind this comment. But the thing is that right there should be a thought virus to whatever it is that you do from here forward. Because if a very reasonable standard, like 10 rounds in 8 seconds from a draw at 25, makes you think, shit, I have to change something. That's a bingo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Right? This makes you do things that you wouldn't normally out of fear of fucking up.
Yep. I mean, going back to gauging how proficient you are by how nervous you are beforehand, we've all seen it happen in class. And shit, I've been guilty of it, where you get so stressed out in your head before the fight has even started that you can't count to 10 anymore. Like, there's
Yeah.
so much shit just burning up in here that 10 rounds is quantum physics all of a sudden.
The number of times that I have seen people laugh at human beings because I was like, oh, I guess we can't count to 10. And they're like, huh. And they have this face on that's like, you idiot. And then they proceed to do exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not just not counting well. The exact number of rounds that last dude was off.
Mm-hmm.
Because waking your brain up out to what I have to do, right? And the mental agility required for that is, it sounds simple until you are forced to do it on demand. Now, the guys that shoot competition all the time are going to be the first people to say this, right? And I don't disagree at all. It's just now, it's okay, you require a lot of hard skills to do the competition thing. And I believe, as far as individual development, competition is required, right? But it is a little bit harder sometimes to measure that specifically and then give yourself a score. This is a little bit easier, and more or less it's a stepping stone, right? It's like, this is the foundation. From there, do other great things and keep a friggin' logbook while you're at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, stuff like this. The number of times, because I give you numbers and zones and that sort of stuff. And by the way, these zones are shot twice at a time. And I tell you to pay attention to your friggin' dots because I give you doubles all day long on purpose. Right? I'll say something simple where like each number that I call in a long form number is to be shot twice, right? So 3,264 is 3264. Each one of those digits is shot twice. That sounds very simple. Cool. And everybody's like, I got it. Except for like the one honest guys, it's like, fuck. But because I add like colors and stuff too, right?
Yeah,
And
but that guy's not the one that's just going pip up into the
that guy is thinking his way through it because he has black, white, red, blue, green, and then I call purple. And he's the only guy that isn't overwhelmed by that right away because he already knows that he's got to think hard to do it. Right? And he's like, that's, and he goes for it. Right? And great. Also, it helps when people have like kids and you mess with like finger paints and junk because he like makes colors. Right? They'll sit there and be like, gray, go. And people are just like, But the one time I called 10,004, I do it every class. Every class, I called 10,004 one time. And at least 3 people do not get the correct number of zeros correct. Every single time. And this includes guys that are around to hear 10,004 a million times. Right? So you just have to, like, regardless to what we feel like, especially, which is why our days are long, right? That's why you force the mental agility, and why at the beginning, when they're one kind of tired, you give them metrics, and at the end, you give them metrics, and that gives them their second kind of tired. That's more or less where we're at on that, right? So developing these standards is far more important, at least to me, than, some fucking whiz bang thing that swivels your stock. Right. It's full circle.
But did you see the kit video of them clearing rooms? It looks so fucking cool. It looks...
Yeah, or the still of this dude in an open danger area with a gun at 90 degrees for some reason.
It's like a Tarkov move. Just
No,
running.
you can't even say that, because at least in Tarkov, when you go into free lean, you're still attached to your ship, right? Like, you know, when you see goofy plays of dudes doing this kajigger through doors and that sort of thing, you know, at the very least, they know what their fucking height over bore is, right? Versus I just heard a gun and bam, and he still blasts a friggin' cinder block in front of his face like a dumbass. You know?
Oh, dude, the best part of it, if you go back to that video, if they still leave it up, they have a demo video of a guy shooting at steel, and you can hear it. It's a shot in a steel ring. Go count how many misses there are when he starts twisting this fucking gun around.
Fun fact, the ratio is bad.
It's like 13 misses out of a magazine.
Also, it's really great.
Ka-tink, dirt.
Yeah, also,
Dirt.
It's really
Fucking
great.
up your fucking holdovers. That's fucking great.
You know, beating on this some more. I know that this is snake oil. I know that this is snake oil when your product says that it has a recoil deleting buffer system in its stock.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. We didn't even get to that.
That's not how physics works. And then, of course, their demo, the dude is not controlling recoil good, like at all. The first thing that you see is when this guy is bladed off to the thing. He does that deal where he postures around the gun, and I guess he figures that he has to get a really long handguard and get all the way out here with it, because he doesn't know how to fucking do this and create the pocket of the shoulder. He just kind of lays it here, and then you just see the rifle doing whatever it wants.
Doing rifle things.
The thing is suppressed with their recoil deletion system on it, and it's still like it's snapping them harder than you guys have seen, like me or yourselves, like control recoil on like a birdcage M4 type rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, snake oil will be snake oil.
But it increases survivability. Okay, going back to Fad Defense, when I was guessing So another indicator for me is anytime I see ergonomic or improved, just insert everything in like Forward Control Designs' catalog, basically. Like, I know it's gonna be some bullshit, but when we start snapping ability on the end of words where ability doesn't live, that was another indicator for me. Like,
we just make it up words.
Yeah, we asked them why you make the stock swivel, and they said to increase survivability by allowing the operator to cant the rifle behind cover.
And then just
just
blatantly saying reducing exposure. From what?
And how?
Your barrel didn't go anywhere.
Well, it increases survivability, though.
All you did was shift your height over bore to a new location.
Yeah, it's got shift ability, it's got shoot ability, it's got swivel ability.
Swivability.
Swivability
equals survivability.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I'm not usually turned off right away by words like ergonomic design, right? But only if you articulate it. Tell me why. Why is it ergonomic? Help me.
Yeah.
Versus just
because it is.
Well, it feels good in the hand, you see.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I was doing like the flop, like the gun flop.
I was not.
Pick up the gun shop, and someone goes, yes, and then hands it back. And you're like, all right.
Yeah. and all of this isn't to say, you know, like I've seen the ocean. I'm no big fish. I'm not. I am mediocre at best as far as the shooting stuff goes. But at the same time, it's like at least I know where the fuck I'm going, right? So watch the stupid products. Actually develop a training regimen around your friggin' thing, and the easiest way to spot a lot of different stuff, and more or less a good educated guess, at least in my mind. And you guys can disagree with me if you like to, or if you want to, or if you do, whatever combination of words that means. Shout at me if you think I'm full of shit. Whatever
A lot
you
of
are,
disagreeability.
yeah. Whatever you are reasonably or actually afraid of, you have to develop a method of addressing it, or you're just everything that you make fun of,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, oh, I should really do more left-handed shooting. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you should.
22 caliber handguns exist, man. Nothing will humble you faster on your trigger control techniques than a sub 1 pound 22 at 50 yards. Because when you hit
25 even.
because when you hit nothing in an egregious amount of time, you have a couple of answers as to what your true abilities are. And everyone thinks that they're better than they actually are. So, but more or less, I think we're at the end of our road here. We've been up for 2.5 hours, and I don't plan on. I'm actually stunned that we retained basically the same numbers all the way through.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's actually kind of wild. The next one of these that I do may be yet another Q&A, because I think maybe by the next time I do one of these, we'll be really close to 100,000 subs at that point, because we're at 91 and traveling, right? So, but I think that we have more or less run today's course. I try not to spam these because there's only so much of just talking into a screen that I think anyone should be allowed to do, honestly.
Yeah.
But that made me sad.
What is it?
Jesus Christ, dude.
Brutal.
Oh, you got here just in time for us to leave.
Well, no, he's been here. He's been here the whole time.
Okay.
But at any rate,
came back
right before we trip over the whole 2.5 hour mark, yeah, that's. I think we're about good here. The next one of these that we do may or may not be a big Q&A and that sort of thing. We'll figure that out as time goes. But we do one of these once a month for those of you that are hanging around that don't know. And when we do them, we try and figure out topics that are not a whole bunch of what's the word?
Nonsense.
Drama-filled teenage girl bullshit. Is
that too?
Little clot goblin stuff. So if you guys have any ideas or on things that you would like us to cover, just go ahead and hit me up. I like subjects that I can just expand on. And really, that's all I have. So do you gents have anything further to say for our group of folks here?
I'm good. It's about dinner time. I'm gonna go eat.
Yeah, I've been pausing my camera and munching on.
I was wondering what was going on, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. I figured. I've been smelling dinner because my kitchen's right over there, and dinner's been ready for a minute, and I've been going crazy.
It took me 2.5 hours.
What are you eating? What is it? What do you have?
It's what
Put it on the screen.
What we refer to in our house as ultimate pizza. So it's pepperoni pizza with pineapple and jalapenos. But we just do a take and bake from Aldi and just add stuff to it.
Nice.
No, I can get down with that.
Yeah.
You son of a
bitch.
bitch.
You gotta add the jalapenos. You can't do the ham. That's just nonsense. You can't do sweet on sweet. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. You gotta do sweet, salty, and spicy. You can't just have all sweet.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, until next time, I will see you all someplace else.
Later.
Take it light, guys. I have to find the end stream button. Here it is.
Haha.